Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now, here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
Welcome to Whitetail Rendezvous podcast, episode number 243.
On today's show, we're going to talk to Matt Giras. Matt's out of Enid, Oklahoma, and he owns Out on a Limb manufacturing company. He's an avid archery hunter, and he designs and builds products for archery hunters. His lock-on tree stands are unique in that they have a bracket that you can put on any angle of a tree. Nope, you don't have to put them in straight trees. They can be crooked. They can be horizontal limb. They can be where you need to put the stand to get the best shot. He also builds a double ladder stand, and he's got a really neat camera arm that you should check out. All in all, Matt's got some really great tools, great products for archery hunters, and he's pretty good at putting bucks down. Stay tuned. Hey, listeners, don't forget to text 33444 Food Plot for your free Food Plot ebook. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. Hey, we're heading over to Enid, Oklahoma, and we're going to connect with Matt Giras. Matt is the owner of Out on a Limb Manufacturing. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Matt, what's up with Out on a Limb? Help my listeners across North America understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it.
Well, Bruce, we live in northern Oklahoma. We don't have any straight trees to speak of. A few cedars spread out here and there, usually not big enough. So I got a new lease a couple years ago, and we were trying to bow hunt out of ground blinds, which I don't particularly like. So I just got to thinking that night, had a dream. We came up with a stand, built a prototype, worked really well. So we built us a finished product, took it to the ATA show 2 years ago. Had very good reviews on it, got in a couple magazines. People liked it, so we did a little bit of modifying. It's a two-piece design now. You can attach the bracket to the tree. You can attach multiple brackets to trees and just transport the platform around. It weighs 18 pounds. Everything we build is out of 6061 T6 aluminum, very strong, very lightweight. The lock-on stand is so versatile, it'll actually hook on a horizontal limb if it's of adequate size. I've had 300-pound plus people on them, on horizontal limbs.
Now, how does that work? Wait a minute. My stand is sort of kind of vertical, so how do you ratchet it on?
It's connected with 3 ratchet straps, 2 for the mounting and one's just for peace of mind safety. The bracket rotates left to right and front to back, so you can actually spin it upside down if you wanted to. We've got safety hooks that mount to the tree, especially on a horizontal limb, mainly for the ease of hanging, but for peace of mind. We worked with TMA, had it all, went through all their testing, meets all their standards. We lack a little bit of paperwork to be complete done with TMA, but we exceed their standards easily. In fact, the test facility I used was out of Baton Rouge, and they said it was in the top 5 stands for strength that they've tested in the last 20 years. So we was pretty pleased about that.
Hey, Matt, how did you come up with the design?
Well, it was just a dream I had. We had a lease here in northern Oklahoma. We were hunting ground blinds with a bow, which I don't particularly like. So I just knew I needed to get up in the trees. So I built a stand prototype, worked out really well. Decided to take it to the ATA show 2 years ago. So we did, got very good reviews there. Decided we'd try to make a run for it. I've had a few people approach me about licensing deals. I won't go into names on that, but
sure.
I think this is going to be our year. I'm pretty sure. But I've got 5 products now. We've got the lock-on stand, which will attach to horizontal limbs if you need them to. They rotate left to right and forward to back, so there's basically not a tree you cannot put that thing on. We've also come up with a ladder stand just because there's more ladder stand hunters than there are lock-on hunters. Our ladder stand's designed to attach to a crooked tree as well. We've got a single and a double. They both got flip-up seating to where you can stand or sit in comfort. The seat kind of doubles as a butt seat, like on a boat, basically. They'll flip up out of the way. Everything's built out of 6061 T6 aluminum, so everything's lightweight, durable. We've got a camera arm that's got all sealed ball bearing pivots with tension knobs, so you can adjust the tension of your joints however you want them. For the lock-on stand, I've even designed a articulating ladder system. All folds up into one piece. Basic ladder's 15 foot. It weighs 18 pounds. First 5 foot is one piece, and then it's got 2 foot sections after that. You can actually spiral around the tree if you need to go from one side to the other. You know how they'll kind of lean over. So you can get our stuff just about anywhere.
Yeah, folks. Interesting stuff, because I don't do lock-ins anymore. I'm too old.
Yeah.
For myself and safety and just setting it up and all that. But
I'm knocking on 50's door this year.
Well, I'm 70, Matt.
Are you really? Dang, you don't
yes,
sound
sir.
it.
Oh, thank you.
We'll put you up in the ladder stand then.
That I will get in ladder stands. In fact, we had to go through the farm where I hunt, and we had to take all the lock-ons down, right, and put up ladder stands. And there's a lot of good companies out there. So what's so special about your lock-on or your ladder stand? I mean, because there's a lot of companies out there that they've done a great job, and people use them all the time. So help me understand how you can differentiate between your product, which you're bringing out into the marketplace, versus somebody else's.
Right. There are a few companies that have stands for crooked trees, but no one really has gone to the extreme that we've gone. We're 7 inches off the tree, so we can actually get on a forward-leaning tree of somewhat, where that's just unheard of, especially on a lock-on stand. We can go plumb horizontal. We can go back into the right, back into the left. There's just really no configuration you can't get this lock-on on. And then as far as our ladder stand goes, I have not to this day seen a ladder stand that will go on a crooked tree. They're basically designed to find a straight spot. Well, my philosophy is you want to hunt the trails, not the trees. So I go out and look for a converging trail, and I set up there. As long as the tree's of adequate size, we can put you in a tree.
What's the diameter of an adequate size tree?
I prefer 9 inches or better, which is still not a super large tree, but it's getting up there.
You're going to have, in the wind, you're going to have some sway, especially if you're up on a ridge or anything exposed.
I mean, I've got trees in 5 foot diameter cottonwoods. We've got stands and trees that big. I mean, so we're not really limited. It's just a safety factor. You got to make sure the tree is of adequate size to hold you and your equipment. That's
interesting. What does TSI stand for? I'm on your website, Out on a Limb, and TSI. What is that?
TS1 is.
Oh, TS1. Okay.
Yeah, that's the lock-on tree stand. We got an LS1 and LS2. The LS1 is a single-man ladder stand. LS2 is a two-man ladder stand. Then we have a CA1, which is our camera arm. We had variations of that, but we're down to this one design. It's about 42 inches overall length. Like I say, it's got all ball bearing pivots on it, which is, I don't think there's anyone else that's doing it. I've got them on some shows. Buck Ventures is using them. Surrender Outdoors, Arrow TV, and a couple other. I'm just gone blank.
That's all right.
But I mean, we're getting our name out there. We're in our first year of actual sales. First year I just promoted. This is our first year of actual sales. We can't build them fast enough, and we build them locally here in Enid, Oklahoma. So they're all American made. Well, Johnny's kind of a redneck, but he's American redneck.
That's funny.
But I mean, we take a lot of pride in what we do. I mean, I feel like we have probably the strongest stands out there. I've had 900 pounds on the platform in my lock-on, so I'm not afraid to put anybody on it. If they can climb a tree, they can get in it.
Now, what about your safety strap system? Do you have ropes?
I custom make my ratchet straps, so when you pull my stand out of a box, you can go to the woods. You're not going to spend 2 hours bolting it together. If it has an attachment point, it's a pin. On the lock-on stand, it's a 3-strap system plus 1 to 2 safety hooks, depends on if you're on a vertical or horizontal. I custom make the straps. They're 3,500 tensile strength straps with the big heavy ratchets. Not something you're going to take out of the box and throw away. Our ladder stands are the same way. They use 2 straps on the top mount and then one for the leg for the ladder. Those are the same type of straps. So when you pull the ladder stand out of the box, it has 6 pins plus the ladder pins, but there's no bolting, no tools required for anything that we got.
Now, what do you recommend for your harness and your safety strap that you're climbing up the tree with?
I have my harnesses built in Alabama. They've been TMA tested, 300-pound capacity. They're just basically like any other stand manufacturer's harness. I would prefer, and I buy Hunter Safety Systems just because they're a little better, a little easier to work. But we going with the TMA standards, you have to provide a harness. So that's what we do.
Right. So the harness is there because you have to have it. Then you're recommending, go get somebody else.
I would, yeah,
Spider.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I use. I use a Spider because
they're just a lot better companies out there, and mainly for comfort. You want a harness that fits good.
Yeah,
we're trying to fit people, from 100 pounds to 300 pounds, and that's hard to do comfortably.
Oh yeah, big time. And the other thing I found is that you have a harness that you can walk in on or with, because I hate getting to the tree and then clanking around.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and doing all that. And it's my preference to when I get to the tree, it's just flip my backpack in, flip my bow in, and I'm up the tree.
Exactly.
I don't dilly-dally around at all because I just know that I'm close to deer. When I get in my tree, those deer are close. Right.
That's one reason I did the two-piece mounting system, so you can hunt multiple locations and not have to expense. My stands are expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but because we hand build them, they're all aluminum, and they're just top of the line. I'll put them against any of the top manufacturers without a doubt. Same with our camera arm. We offer extra mounts, so you can leave your camera arm mount in the tree. My mount weighs 1 pound, I think, 1.5 maybe. So my whole arm is 7 pounds, 42 inches long, double barred bearings. It's a real nice deal.
Yeah. And how can people, are you on Facebook or in Twitter, Instagram? What's your URL for your website?
We do. Our website is outonalimbmfg.com. Our Facebook, you got to capitalize the first letter and everything, is Out on a Limb MFG LLC. Twitter, I honestly don't know it, but we have Twitter and we have a YouTube channel, Out on a Limb Outdoors. Instagram is Out on a Limb with underscore between each letter or between each word. We're pretty much on all the social media. We've got a pretty good following. We're giving away a camera arm at 5,000 likes. If we can get our likes up there, we're just over 3,000 right now.
Well, I'm trying.
I hear you.
I only can do it. I only can do it once.
Yeah. Well, anybody that listens to your show, we'll encourage them to get on there and give us a shout out.
Well, heck yeah. That sounds interesting. And like everything about the Whitetail Rendezvous, we bring different guests in and we talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they're doing it. And listeners, it's good to check out. You can go to a big box store and buy whatever stand you want, but sometimes you want something a little special in the way they have their mounting bracket. That's unique in the industry. I haven't seen it. If somebody has,
to my knowledge, there's not.
Because we all get in those little places. I can remember one time, the best limb was a limb coming off the hill and dropping down, and it was perfect if I could have got a stand up in there, and I couldn't, so I had to stand back. Anyway, it didn't work out, but deer were coming through there. I knew they were, and trail camera said they were, but I couldn't get a tree stand up where I wanted it. And so, you go find a different place.
Yep, that's what our motto is: hunt where you want, not just where you.
And that's got a lot of validity to it. Now, Matt, how long have you been hunting whitetails?
I've been hunting whitetails for probably going on 30 years now. I'll be 50 this year, or in a couple months, actually.
Yeah.
And I used to hunt all the seasons, black powder, rifle, archery, but now I just take my bow everywhere we go. We bow hunt during rifle season, bow hunt during black powder. We turkey hunt with our bows. We love the outdoors.
Yeah, it's interesting what you just said. A lot of people are putting a rifle up, especially in whitetail country, and they're going with the bow. I'm hunting almost 100% now with my crossbow for whitetails. There's some places, if I'm sitting on a bean field or a large food plot, I just can't shoot over 50 yards. I mean, and I need to shoot 100 and stuff. So, I'll take my rifle with me. But I remember last year I was hunting and I was hunting thick stuff. I hunted the whole season with my crossbow.
Cool. That's what we prefer to do. If I get invited to go to a hunt somewhere and it's rifle, I'll take it. But I try to stick to my bow. Bows nowadays are getting so high tech. I personally shoot obsession, and I Robin Hood an arrow at 60 yards the other day practicing.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty good.
They're so accurate; it's just unreal anymore.
Yeah, that's the one thing bad with crossbows. I have to use the whole target because they'll just stack them and you're breaking the arcs, and it gets expensive.
Shoot spots, yeah, not groups.
Yeah, it just gets expensive. That's for sure. Well, let's go back and let's talk a little bit about noodling for flatheads. And folks, if you've never heard about it, you're in for a treat, because in the warm up, I asked Matt. I said, "What are the 3 things you really love to do?" And he says, "Well, I like to build stands. I like to hunt whitetails and turkeys, and but I love noodling." So let's take a little break from the whitetail angle and share something new for me and hopefully for our listeners.
Yeah, we hunt, or we fish mainly creeks, shallow waters. The biggest I've pulled personally is 42-pound flathead out of probably 6 foot of water. The guy that taught me to noodle, he's caught 78-pounders before in 2 foot of water underneath the beaver dam. But we walk lots of miles down rivers and creeks. We started doing some lakes this year as well. There's a little town here just east called Perry. They got a little town lake. We won a noodling contest 2 weeks ago out of that. He's just 20 pounds, but he's big enough to win. But I would go every day.
How do you do that? Yeah, well, I've never done it, and I've heard about it.
Yeah, mainly rocks. They spawn in the rocks, or they take refuge from the sun in the rocks. They like shade, and they like calm water. I mean, if you find a root ball on the bank of a creek that's hollowed out, from the rushing waters, they'll just lay up in there. You get your hand to the hole. If they're on an egg sac, and I can promise you're going to get hit. If it's a blue cat, you're going to get hit 3 times real quick. But a flathead will normally just hit you one time. They'll back up, and you reach in there. What I like about a flathead catfish, their bottom jaw is like a bucket handle, and they normally have their mouth closed. You reach in there, you tickle the bottom lip, they open your mouth, you grab hold of them. The thing you don't want to do is bring them to surface. I learned a little trick myself is what I do. They're similar to a shark. You turn them on their back, and they'll basically go limp. I pulled 40-pound flatheads out on my belly, when you're in an odd situation. But if you pull them, the first 42-pounder I caught, I was proud. I go to show him to my buddies, and he went to thrashing. And I was about 6 foot of water then, which I'm 5'11", so it was over my head. But I just hollered at my buddy. I said, "I'm going to wrap my legs. Pull me out." So I wrapped my legs around him and waited. My buddy pulled me out. We had us a nice fish.
So how do you do it? You just walk down the banks, one guy on one side? You don't do this alone, hopefully.
Oh, no. We always try to go with a group of 4 people or so, but you just have 2 guys kind of, we call it flat bottom. You lay on your belly and kind of spread your legs and keep everybody close enough together because they'll lay out there in the middle as well if it's not real sunny out, but then 2 guys on the banks, and you're just looking they'll build them a nest in the banks, or, a shady spot. They'll use their tails and make washouts. A lot of rock. Yeah. If you got a big cave underneath a rock, there's usually a fish in it.
Now, so you're walking down the creek, and the creeks that I can kind of figure out that. Wait a minute, where the shade is, where the bends of the creek are, what's going on underneath the water. Once you've been there, it's kind of like fishing, where the holding places are, blah blah blah, on that. But how many times do you put your hand in a hole and it's a dry hole?
A bunch, but you'll know it if there's fish in there because he'll come to greet you, or she'll.
So how does that feel?
I wear baseball gloves or motocross gloves just because I work with my hands all the time. I don't want to get them chewed up, but I've seen a lot of them, stick their arms to the gills. We don't do that. I mean, we reach in there with our hands and grab their lower lip. So if the blue cats, it's kind of a trick to get a hold of them because they like to spin hard. But it's just after you've done it a while, you get used to it, and after you go one time, you'll be hooked on it. Don't know how many people I've taken hand fishing. No, I'm not sticking my hand in the hole. I don't know what's there, but they do now. Very few of them don't come back for a return visit.
So, 42-pound fish, his jaws got to be pretty good, pounds per square inch.
Oh yeah, they put some qualities on you. You come, I mean, even with gloves, you'll get some cuts on you, but they're not major. Nothing you won't heal up from.
Yeah, they don't really have rows of teeth, or do they have?
It's kind of like sandpaper teeth. I mean, they'll more just scuff your skin and make you bleed. Every now and then you'll get an abnormal fish that's actually got teeth, and they'll bite through your gloves.
Oh.
Yeah, but you just got to man up. You got to have a little red on your neck.
Now, are you taking these home and eating them, or
Oh yeah.
What do you do with the fish?
We eat them flathead. I mean, as far as meat, flathead is probably one of the best fish out there if it's prepared right. You got to clean it is your biggest thing. Cut all your red meat off. When we get done cleaning fish, you got a bag of white meat, and it is delicious. We fry 90% of ours.
Yeah, so you just fillet it up. And how about the bones?
We fillet them off the bone.
Are there a lot of bones, like a pike, or not so much?
I've never got a pike, but I mean, there's no bones in our. I mean, we cut around the rib cage, and you got your spine, and we fillet the meat off the spine. I skin them first. The catfish, just pull the skin off them, then fillet the meat off. Then we take it to a cleaning station, and we get busy. Cut it in little 1-inch chunks, pretty much. But you can have a 2-inch thick slab on a 40-pound fish, easy. About 3 foot long. That sounds
good.
It's very good.
Sounds like good eating.
You get to Oklahoma, we'll cook you some up. Or we'll take you noodling. We'll let you catch your own.
I don't know. I've seen some big shots in the middle of the ocean. I'm going, I don't know.
That's good. I on occasion will take my scuba gear and it lets you stay underwater longer, because it's mainly what we do is just free dive for them, and you got to have pretty good lungs. It gets scary because some guys hold their breath longer than others, and you got to watch it. I got my leg caught the other day. First time that I've actually, what I would call freaked. I kept my composure and got out, but the hole was about 6 foot deep. It was a bunch of highway blocks, them big old giant blocks they put on highways during construction.
Yeah.
Those were all thrown down in there, and there's a little V area. I knew there was a fish in there. I could feel him, but I got the wise eye, and it was on a low water crossing, so we had a little rushing water behind us. I thought I'd stick my leg down in there, and the water's pushing on the back, so it puts the crowbar effect on my leg, and I was pretty deep, so I started to panic. But all you got to do is just calm yourself, and you'll get out. You go out the same way you come in. Same with brush piles. I don't wear a shirt because just for that reason, you get under a brush pile and you go to back up, your shirt gets snagged. So most people will just freak out. You just got to drop, back up. It's be calm.
Now, what about snorkel gear?
The water's usually too dirty,
so you can't see anyway. So what's the point?
No, yeah, it's pitch black.
So you can't see, and you're sticking your hand underneath the bank for 40-pound fish. That sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
On occasion, you'll get a fur coat down there too. We've got hold a few beavers, carp, turtles. Snapping turtles, we found them out of the holes. You feel for the short side. You try not to get your hands on the long side of a shell.
Oh, yeah.
Might lose a digit.
Holy fright.
But we have a good time. It's a rush. I got a TV show coming Friday. Matter of fact, Arrow TV's coming, and they've never noodled before. They're out of Missouri, so we're going to give them a little adventure this weekend. Hopefully we get on some fish. They should start spawning. The last 2 times I've been out, blues have been on eggs, and flats normally spawn after the blues, so hopefully we'll have a good weekend.
That's so much fun. Listeners, I hope you just enjoyed this little divergent into noodling. Never knew about it.
Be sure to try to watch Arrow TV on the Pursuit channel. I think they're on Tuesday nights, maybe Mondays, but they should, within the next month, they should have an episode out if we have good luck. So you get to watch it firsthand.
Well, let's switch back to whitetail hunting. Tell us something about the hunting tradition, and then let's talk about lessons learned as a whitetail hunter.
I've basically been doing it pretty much all my adult life. But like I say, we bow hunt. We go out and do a lot of scouting. Took my nephew about 2 or 3 years ago on Thanksgiving Day. He was doing my CAD drawings from my tree stands, and we just got through a Thanksgiving dinner. Came to the shop. I said, man, let's just go hunt. We'll do this tomorrow. He said, okay. So I set him up in a stand at 4:30 in the afternoon, mind you. He was running a little late. He's shooting crossbow. Put him up in one of my stands. I knew he'd see deer. And I've had this monster on camera. Had a 12 1/4 inch unicorn horn growing out the front of his head, 22 1/4 inch spread. I mean, nice whitetail. We got Oklahoma's sleeper state. We got a lot of nice whitetail. Well, you know how phones are when you get out in the woods. You're on them too much, they go dead. Well,
right.
My phone was old anyway. Well, I get a text from my nephew saying he sees one. Well, then my phone died, so I didn't worry about it. It gets dark. I'm walking back to the truck, and I see flashlights over there where I got him and his little brother at. So I wait there a minute. They're not coming, so I thought, I'll walk over there. And first thing he said, I think I shot your deer. He said, no, I'm pretty sure I did shoot your deer. And my heart sank, of course, but he's family, so what the heck. So we go looking for it, and sure enough, he got it. He shot cinnamon sand at 4:35, and he shot it at 5 o'clock that afternoon.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, so he didn't have to work at it. But
right place, right time.
Exactly. Well, I knew he rattled him in, he said, but it was Thanksgiving Day, so November 27th, is that what it is? Something like that. That was 2 years ago, I think.
So was he still rutting, or?
Yeah.
Or
he was coming to he was ready to fight. Is what he was ready for. Our rut pretty much just is starting about then.
So he was in the aggressive stage and basically pre-rut. If I understand how it all works.
Yeah, he came right in. Shot him about 30 yards, I think.
My goodness. So talk to us about, you've been hunting all your life. Your grandfather, your uncle, your dad. How did you get started?
My dad always took us rabbit hunting. He never did a lot of deer hunting. The hunting I do remember with Dad, we went out with 20 gauge shotgun slugs. I never was fortunate enough to get one. And then I started an auto repair business in 92 and worked on a lot of farmers vehicles. And that's pretty much where got me in. One of my Snap-on dealers was trying to sell me some equipment, and he happened to have a bow in his truck. And he gave me that bow if I'd buy this piece of equipment. So I bought that piece of equipment, and that was my first out of high country compound bow. Took it from that day on. I was pretty much hooked. Shot Matthews for 27 years, and then just last 3 years I've been shooting Obsession, and I think that's my bow of choice. There's so much more. I mean, in that 27 years, I bet I Robin Hooded arrows twice, and now you can pretty much do it on command.
Now let's just stop. I don't know a lot about Obsession, so just give us 90 seconds on that setup.
Obsession bows. Obsession is a fairly new company. I'm not sure exactly the date they came out. I want to say 2011. I'm a dealer for them here in Oklahoma. When I started, I think I was the first Oklahoma dealer. I sold a lot of bows. Now the company's getting big, and they're just taking the industry by storm, really. But they've got any model of bow from a short 28-inch bow up to a 37-inch target bow. They've got shoot-through risers. They've got hunting bows. They've got about anything you want. Any style of shooter you are, they pretty much have it. If you shoot fingers, long axle bow. If you hunt out of ground blinds, little 28 9/16 axle bow, all of them will shoot pretty much consistent over 300 foot a second, unless you're real short draw and lightweight. But I haven't had a hold of a bow from them that didn't shoot over 300.
Where are they made? What state?
Georgia, Jeffersonville, I believe. Dennis Lewis is the owner of the company. They recently partnered with Arcus, which is Tinks, Dead Downwind. They picked up another company. I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but they're growing really fast. They do all their own coding now. That's another thing about Obsession. They've got so many color combinations, it's not even funny. I mean, so many different camo patterns. It's all color fusion. It's baked on similar to a powder coating, but it's a different system. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but they have tons of patterns. You can get orange cams, red cams, black cams. It's all, about any string combination you want color wise. They're worth checking out for sure.
Let's do a little tech talk. When you're in a hang-on, is there a length, the risers that you like better than the others? Or talk to us a little bit about, tech talk, shooting out of tree stands, either hang-ons or ladder stands.
Personally, I'm a short axle guy. I like the short bow. They're not, you don't get the distance that you get out of some of your longer bows, but I very seldom shoot a deer over 20 yards anyway. I might fling an arrow at a turkey farther just for fun, and hoping I hit it. But but like I say, I have Robin Hood an arrow at 60 yards. I shoot a 2016 Obsession Sniper. It's 30-inch axle, 70-pound limbs. It's shooting just probably 305 with my hunting arrows. They're probably their flagship bows or their Defcons. They're 32-inch axle. They can get up to 360 feet a second.
But which one do you think is best out of stand? Elevated stand.
Me personally, I like the sniper because it's 7-inch brace height. It's a little more forgiving than the real fast bows. It's short, 30 inches. It's my preferred. Everyone's different though. I mean, that's just what I prefer is a short bow, so I don't have to trim quite so many lambs. I like to keep the head up there pretty good.
Now, what about out of a ground blind?
Short, to me, a short bow too, just because you have restricted height. But I've seen guys shoot 37-inch bows out of a ground blind. I've got a buddy that shoots fingers, and he has to shoot a long bow, just for the finger pinch. But the bows anymore, all brands to me are, they've all advanced so much over the years. It's hard to get a bad one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's real surprising, not surprising. We've been on for over 30 minutes here. And so let's take 90 seconds here, Matt, and why don't you give shout outs to whoever and then we'll call it a show.
I'd like to shout out to all the shows I'm sponsoring: Buck Ventures with Jeff Danker and Danny McVeigh, Arrow TV with Zach Schumacher and Brandon, Surrender Outdoors, Michael Harrell, and anybody else I forgot. I appreciate you guys using our products, and I know people love them, and I hope we can get everyone else to love them as well.
Well, Matt Giras, thank you so much for being, on the show. It's been interesting. Never knew about noodling. Now I do a little bit more. But out on a limb. Yeah, you're going to put me out on a limb in a creek.
There you go.
That's funny. But on behalf of all listeners across North America, thank you for being an informative guest, and we wish you well with your company. And with that, we'll say goodbye.
All right. Thank you, Bruce. We appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Make sure you tune in to the next episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. We're going to have Adam Lewis back on the show. Adam owns Sound Barrier. What is Sound Barrier? Well, he creates products and he talks about, blogs about, writes about being silent in the woods, especially around your tree stand. He knows the exact decibels that a deer hears. He knows how deer hear, why deer hear, and what we need to do as a hunter to be and create a sound barrier.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.